If I switch over here to our configuration manager, okay, one of the easiest ways to produce these configurations is to actually use the design table. So I'm going to use insert table and use design table. Now if you recall, if we use auto create, it's going to prompt us to select from all of the dimensions and feature dimensions in the part which ones we want to track. So if I click OK here, you'll be able to see all of the dimensions in the part that we can track. Now remember, we didn't change the dimension name, did we? Right? We didn't change the dimension name, so this is why it makes it harder for it to track, because we don't know which one it is, right? Unlike the one in the wheel. So if I cancel this and get out of the configuration manager here, I want to show you why it was important to do this in the first place. If I go back to Sketch and look at Sketch Edit, right? It's only in Sketch 1, and we are looking for the particular dimension. Let me get normal to this and zoom in. Let's see if we can adjust our dimensions right here, this one, D3. So you can see there's a bunch of other dimensions there, but one of the easiest ways to deal with this is simply to, let's just rename it D, right? Or we could even do something like this, like diameter, right? So it's easier for us to recognize what it is. That's just going to stand out, right? So also keep in mind that this value, right, is half the size that we're actually tracking. If I click OK here to close that, and once again return to our configuration manager, I'm going to remove this table here so I can redo it again. So now when I go Insert, Tables, Design Table here, again we'll use Auto Create, and this time we'll be able to easily select Dia at Sketch 1, right? That's the one dimension that we're tracking. If I click OK here, I know this is going to be kind of hard to see. I wish I could zoom in on this right now. It's hard to see. You can see in this design table we've got the default configuration, which in this case we could rename A, right? But we've got configuration B, C, D, E, and F to create. Right? So right now the default value is showing 1 there, and that's because we were only defining the radius. So take a look at the other values that are shown there. We have 220, right? So take half of that. We'll do that as 110. For option C, we have 240, which is going to be 120. And then D is the 260 or 130. E is 280 or 140. And F here is 3 or 150. Now look at this. This is an Excel table, right? As an Excel table, I can do this too. Equals, right? 3 divide by 2. You could do your own math expressions in there as well. See that? And you can see when I select the cell in the Excel formula bar, you can see how I created that math expression in there. Alright, so this is our design table for the wheel. Let's go back to the frame and create that one as well. Just to show you the results here, let's click out of the design table, and you'll see SOLIDWORKS will prompt you to let you know that it created all these other configurations. Just to test it, you can see here, double click, here's A, which is the default, right? Here's B, here's C, here's D, here's F, or sorry, here's E, and then here's F. And you can see how this other inner diameter is working as well, because we established that dimension with an equation, right? the default is the same as A. So let's just put it all back to A, which is our default. And let's save this file and switch back to the frame. Let's again develop a design table for the frame. So let's switch over to configurations. Okay, we already know what is going to be the sketch that we're looking for, right? If I look at sketch 2, you can see it's H at sketch 2. That's the one that we're going to be looking for. That's the one that we're tracking. That's the one that's going to be changing. So if I switch over to configuration manager, use insert, look at tables, design table, we're going to auto create, click OK here. You'll see we're looking for H at sketch 2. That's the only thing that's changing. All right. Now here too, I'm just going to expand this a little bit. We have our default. I'll just leave that there for right now and just establish A, B, C, D, E, and F. Okay? For A, we've got 150. For B, 160. For C, 170. For D, 180. For E, 190. And then F, we have 2. Okay? Now again, if you're concerned about precision, remember, you always have the tools available to you that you have in Excel, right? So you could even edit the precision format cells here. You can look at that. I'm not going to do that right now, but you can see 2 decimal places. We can add the 3 if we want it for the precision. Okay. Now that I click outside of the design table, it should automatically create all the other configurations as well, and you could test it. So remember, A is the default as well. Here's B, C, and D. And you can see because of the way we built this, right? Because we used the mirrored feature, the other side is also changing. And that's important. If you don't build that into the part, it's going to cost more work, more time. All right, so let's put it back in the A or the default. Okay. And now we're ready to take a look at building the assembly. All right.